The concept of reflecting back, it's an old concept that's been used in spirituality and a lot of psychological techniques. And what does that mean? When we encounter interaction with other people, most of the time, not always, but most of the time, we are literally mirroring our own internal states into them. Or we can see in them things that we like or we don't like about ourselves. Sometimes that other person can be inspirational, motivational. We can admire some of their traits. Sometimes we want to embody something they have. And sometimes we don't like what we see in other people. Sometimes other people express jealousy, anger, rage, gossip. It doesn't matter what they do. But those are things we don't like. And why don't we don't like? Why is it that we don't like them? Because let's say I identify as a good person. And if I identify as a good person, this terminology of that good person, the whole interpretation of that identification, the concept is that I'm not allowed to be angry, I'm not allowed to be jealous, I'm not allowed to be um, anything that's negative. Why? Because I adopted identification of a positive person. But the reality is that we are expressed into duality. One cannot exist without the other. In order for me to be good, somebody has to be bad. Otherwise, I cannot have the experience of being good. In order for you to be bad, somebody has to be good. Otherwise, you don't have the experience of bad. So what happens in duality? I call it Trinity because you have one polarity. Everything that exists in this existence that we are expressed into, call it any way you want. Anything that exists has its own opposite. So that opposite, what's between them? It's energy and emotional charge between these two. Once we use FAIR technique and we remove that energy and emotional charge between these two polarities, they become one, which they were from the very beginning. There always was, always is, and always will be. But these games of life that we play, we need polarities. Without polarities, it's a games that have been played forever and ever, in every single modification, in every single shape and form. So the game of polarity or Trinity, there are always three elements. You can never have two people arguing without the third element intact with that. So I don't have much time, so I'm just going to make it short. So FAIR transformational technique allows you to integrate energy and emotional charge between these two polarities. So when you integrate them, then you're no longer dependent on just one, that you have to be one, and then you live only half life, and you just modify by interpretation of that identification. Actually, you have a freedom to express yourself any way you want in any situation that's proportional to that situation.